Oh, hello. Welcome. It's not as late as it was last night when I went live. It's not 5:30 a.m. It's probably around 1:30, I would say. I'm just taking a break from cleaning up. I had to clean the living room a little bit because I'm going to begin the process of staining the living room. Not in a bad way. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go in and spill a bunch of milk or drop red food coloring on the floor or anything like that. I'm gonna actually go in and I've got a few little spots that I need to hit with just the tiny sander, just to smooth a couple things out, and maybe 5 minutes of work. And then I'm gonna begin staining the floor with the finish, the stain slash polyurethane. I'll be doing that soon. So that's what's up. So I just had to clear. I had to move everything from one half of the living room to the other half, and and then I'll be staining the half nearest the back of the house. And then once that's all dried up and whatnot, then I can. Actually, I don't have to wait until that's dry. I only have to wait until the dining room is dry, because there's stain down in there right now. When that's dry, I can take everything in the front half of the living room, move it to the dining room, and then begin staining the front half of the living room. You see, so that's how it works. So I'm just it's a big truck. So I wanted to go live real quick, and I realized I've been drinking a good deal of Miller Lite lately, and I've even done some on camera, I believe, but I've not reviewed it yet. So I thought I would do a Miller Lite review, and this is the canned version of Miller Lite. And right here it looks weird because the camera is reversed, and when it does that, they haven't figured out the technology yet to make the reverse camera look right. It flips everything. So someday we might have the technology to get the front-facing camera to take regular pictures. So that might be something that they can work on for the next. Maybe they fixed that. Maybe that's something that they did with the iPhone 8, because this is I'm on the 7 Plus here. So if you have an iPhone 8, 8 Plus, or the what is it, the iPhone 10? If you have any of those, if you have an iPhone that came out after the 7 Plus, let me know if they fixed this issue where it reverses everything when you switch to the front-facing camera, because that's a little confusing. That's not what it really looks like. This is what it really looks like right here. See? It says Lite. So that's what we're going to review. Now first we'll start with the can. This is a throwback can. This came back probably a couple years ago now. And here they give you a little, inside is a fine Pilsner beer, brewed with the highest quality ingredients. We use choice hops from the Pacific Northwest, as well as noble Sax hops, and deliver more taste, aroma, and color with only 96 calories per 12 ounces. And here are some awards that they've won. The 1855 Establishment Award, the Brewed Triple Hops Award, and that one is the Brewed with the Best Ingredients Award. So there's some ribbons they've won, and here it looks like it's a Fine Pilsner Beer Award that they've been given. They might have given it to themselves, but it looks like an award that you would win. And they might have one of these hanging up at the Miller Lite offices. So then you've got the light right here, and yes, it's a throwback can. Sometime in the late 90s, I think, they went to a blue can, like a bright blue with silver and swirls, and it was really swirly, and and it was all jazzy looking, early late 90s, early 2000s kind of extreme sports version of Miller Lite, and then they've just gone back to the old classic can because the nostalgia stuff is in right now. So that's what I've got here. Um, this was part of an 18 pack that I was sharing with my good brother Andrew, who's not here tonight. This is the first night that I've worked alone on the house. In It's been over a week. He's been a trooper. He's been here busting his bottom, really helping out a lot, and so tonight is a little more somber in tone. Um, you can hear the crickets. I mean, it's not sad. I'm not sad. It's just it's strange to have a work buddy, and then to go back to having it be a one-man job, having no one to bounce ideas off of or shoot the shit with, so to speak. So that's where I am. It's a little bit different headspace. So anyway, let's review this beer. Here's another thing with the old can. If you would go back and find an actual throwback can of Miller Lite, well, not in throwback, just an original, when they had these designs back in probably the 70s and 80s, you wouldn't have had this lip. It did not go in like that. It would have been straight up and then the top of the can. It didn't have this groove that goes in right here. So that was added later on for easier drinking. Okay, so it's a pop top, a golden top with a silver tab. It's a little tricky to see, but there is a distinction here. So you see the light just bouncing off of it, just nice. So now we can open this up, set it down, and because it's pretty quiet out here in my neighborhood, that the sound of that opening just reverberated through the streets of my entire neighborhood. So I hope I didn't wake anyone up. So here we go. All right, so I've opened it, and now we'll get the reaction, because everyone likes reaction videos. So I'm gonna react to first sip, and then I'll describe some things about it. So here we go. This is a Miller Lite. Let me turn it around one more time so you can see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like when it's not being messed with by the front-facing camera on the iPhone. And so when I turn it back around, here we go. This is a Miller Lite in the throwback can. All right, so I'm drinking this at room temperature because I got this beer out a little bit ago. I had to get it out before I put the second coat of stain in the kitchen, because the way it is when I put the coat down, it goes in front of the fridge, and while it's drying, I cannot step in there. It'll ruin things. So I had to get this out before the second coat, so it's been sitting out for a little while. It's room temperature, but it's okay, because that doesn't make beer taste bad necessarily. Some people prefer to drink beer at room temperature. That's actually standard in some places, and kind of strange that we drink beer cold usually here in the US. Some people would be very turned off by that idea. Some people might laugh at you if you went and asked for a cold beer at their establishment, because they don't do it that way everywhere. So something to keep in mind. If you're traveling and someone gives you a warm beer, don't complain automatically, because they just might think you're silly for asking that for a cold beer. So I feel like it's a little fizzy. It's got a good fizz to it, good carbonation. It's got a, I would say, a light foaminess to the mouthfeel. And I think and I think beer does that a little more when it's warm. Um, so keep that in mind. If you try it for yourself and yours is ice cold, it might not have the same mouthfeel as I'm describing here. So very bubbly, very foamy. Um, it's good. It's very drinkable, meaning it's not. So many of these beers now, they've got an absurd level of hoppiness to them. You've got these IPA people who just can't get enough of the hops. They will stop at nothing short of just grinding up a pine tree and fermenting it. That's what they want, and I'm against those people. I do not buy into the IPA. I'm not a fan. Pilsner's good. Beer with a little hoppiness to it, like Sam Adams Boston Lager's fine. Even Sierra Nevada can be okay. But we're getting into territory with some of these IPAs that we just shouldn't go. And I feel like people force themselves to like them because, well, for one thing, uh, it's about all you can find now when it comes to craft beer. You see a sweet looking case of beer, read further, IPA. Almost always. People are not exploring the porters, the lagers, the dark beers. They're being left behind. There's my cat. Okay. Um, so this is not an IPA, obviously. This is a Pilsner. It's light in color. It's bubbly. It's drinkable. If you drink it too fast, you're going to burp a lot. Goes down smooth. Just the tiniest hint of a little bite at the end. And I mean tiny. It's like a nibble. But there's taste to it. It's not bread water, which some beers can turn into when they get too light. This is a good light beer. It's good for if you just want something to crack open when you're working, or maybe you're watching the game, or you just want to drink mindlessly. What was that? I accidentally popped my lips. That was weird. And I was doing an M sound too. Mindless. I think I was saying mindlessly, and then my lips popped. But so that was the police. I was worried for a second because I thought someone might have called the cops on me from popping this open. But yeah, it's a good beer. I'm enjoying my time out here this evening on the front porch, just having a little bit of some sips, just doing what I can to relax a little bit before I go back in and get back to work. And yeah, so I mean, we like engagement around here. YouTube's making it tough sometimes to make that happen, so make sure you like this video and comment on it. Comment below and let me know what kind of beer you like. And tell me if you think I'm wrong about IPAs. I don't think that I'm wrong. I think that you are wrong if you are one of these IPA nuts, these IPA people all hopped up on hops. You got problems. You need to explore some other tastes, because it's just like you're getting into like house cleaner. It's like Pine Sol. No one wants to drink that. You've been duped. You're being duped. So, but hey, that's just me. Leave your opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you liked my review of the Miller Lite. Um, oh yeah, and then subscribe and bong the gong for notifications, so YouTube will let you know when we go live in the future. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back soon. I'll see you tomorrow.